Hey folks, this is Best in Slot. Welcome back to Planet Zoo and a new park build. Sort of. This is not our Southeast Asian zoo. Instead, what we're going to do today for the very first time is experiment with mods on Planet Zoo, and that is mods that add brand new species into the game. Very exciting stuff, whole new animals for free. It's very cool. And eventually new decorations and stuff like that as well. There's a few already out there. Today we're going to be playing with the little blue penguin. It is adorable, painfully, agonizingly adorable, made by Leaf and Mega Gaming Rex. I'll link it down below in the description if you want to check it out. I've wanted to cover this for a long time, and there's reasons we can now cover it a little bit more freely. And really the point was to try and have a series that, this is not going to be like necessarily like a super active park build that we work on all the time. It's going to be our modded animal park. So whenever a new animal comes out that I really like and would like to showcase, we're going to put it into this zoo, basically. It's going to be a focused zoo entirely on modded animals and modded animals alone. So, you know, it might be a week or two until the next episode, it might be a day or two, it just depends on what comes out, basically. And I've set myself a couple of limits. The first one is that the builds are not going to take any longer than a couple of hours. This is not meant to be my crazy big weirdo builds. This is meant to feel more like an actual zoo. This is going to be my practice for building an actual zoo, I suppose. And the second part of that, well, I guess that is the second part of that it should feel a little bit more like an actual zoo. Really what we're here to do is to kind of showcase the animals more so than the actual build itself, although of course we have to showcase a bit of a build. And also I kind of like the idea of keeping the builds below 2 hours, because it kind of says to people who are maybe new to Planet Zoo or struggling a little bit, not that I'm necessarily the best example, but I can say, you know, this is what you can do in just a couple of hours or less. You know, don't get discouraged, it just takes a little bit of practice. For all of us, still, to this day. So, that is the general idea, basically. I hope people are excited. I'm definitely excited. I'm really excited to try out some of these brand new animals. And today's is adorable. I thought I was making a really small habitat for them. You know, like it's a small penguin. It's the smallest species of penguin in the world. It's from like southern or northern, I can't remember. It's from Australia or New Zealand, and reports of it in Chile, but it's a little bit higgledy-piggledy. But as much as I thought this was quite a nice small habitat for this small penguin, I've added a couple in and they are so tiny, so very tiny, that this small exhibit is absolutely gigantic for them. Absolutely massive. So we're going to have a lot of them in here. Anyways, I was searching around the interwebs for little blue penguins, kind of get a feel for, you know, where they would live and stuff like that. These are often called fairy penguins in Australia, it's worth noting. Little blue penguins, I can't say blue. It's a very complex word. That's more of a New Zealand name for them. Technically the species is little penguin, because, you know, why not be direct, I suppose? And then the blue, just because they are, in fact, blue. They're adorable, they really are. Anyways, so I found this lovely image and it had like some sort of sandstony looking rock, apologies about the noise outside, some sandstony looking rock and then some tropical elements coming in. It wasn't, you know, proper beachy, it wasn't Arctic, of course, this is Australia/New Zealand, it's a rock-based penguin. So what I really wanted to make was like a little rocky pond with this tropical element sort of seeping in from the outside, like a little oasis kind of vibe going on. And it ended up, yeah, really nice, really enjoyed it. It was nice to kind of just build an exhibit and a habitat. I'm not saying we're never going to do weird stuff, because we are going to do weird stuff, and I've already got like a little bit of an overarching story building in my head, but I thought we'd kick things off in relatively normal fashion. So all I've done is put in a little a pit for our penguins. That's going to be the watering hole, swimming area kind of thing. They are tiny, so it doesn't need to be any deeper than that. If anything, that might be too deep. And I decided they deserve like a little shelter. Things I would never usually worry about, but it's a zoo, right? So we're going to build them a shelter. And we're going to scrap this in a second and end up using predominantly the Australian pack to build this thing. But I was just kind of messing around, different materials, different items. Lots of wood. Always lots of wood, folks. Gotta get your wood in. Nope. And yeah, so I'm just gonna I don't know much to say about this because I'm about to delete all of it. Basically, decided to kind of focus in on the Australian pack a little bit. It's got those lighter colours to it, which goes well with the sand and the light rock that we already have established for. And there you go, it's all gone. So I decided that was going to be like a little slightly raised little sleeping platform for the penguins, and they could waddle up the little staircase, and they'd be covered up at the top by this sort of little sheath of metal. I kind of wanted a funky looking roof, but the funky looking roof wasn't looking funky, so that's going to be there for a while, and we'll end up getting rid of that as well. So yeah, I do want to talk more about the series in general. As I say, this is not going to be necessarily a super regular thing. It is meant to be whenever I think an exceptional animal comes out. And this was where I had the problem. You can see the roof just doesn't go with the logs, whereas this roof loves logs. Loves them. Anyways, so there might be more episodes at the start as we kind of build up the repertoire, I guess, the roster. And also, I kind of need to make it into a zoo. This is in the middle of nowhere, this penguin habitat, because I wanted one habitat in before I started on the actual zoo design. I'm not going to focus too much on the guest aspect, because I don't care about the guest aspect, but I want like a central area that kind of spans off all over. That's the idea, because this is going to be a global zoo. There's no theme to this zoo other than new animals. We can do anything we want. So the idea is to have like a central hub. I'm going to put like a globe in the middle if I can make one. And then it's going to spiral off into 10 different zones, essentially. So this penguin one will be in our like aquatic zone, and we'll have tropical and African savanna and all this kind of stuff. That's the idea at the moment. I'm really excited. You know, people have been asking for a mega zoo for a long time. This is basically the mega zoo, but we're just using brand new animals, and I think that'll be more exciting. All that said, I'm not going to commit to this. I need to talk about this very briefly. I'm not complaining. I'm not having a go. Zoo Tycoon, Planet Zoo, the Southeast Asian animal pack, is not performing very well on YouTube for any of us. Basically, it's really bad for all of us as YouTubers. It just isn't bringing the views in. So, if this is going to be a long-running thing, will depend on how the series actually does, of course, because I need to pay rent. But I'm excited about the idea, and I know people have been asking for it, so I thought we'd give it a go. And if nothing else, I'm going to show you a shiny, fancy blue penguin. Well, that was a good deal. So we got a little ramp, built a little staircase, put a little surrounding on that. I don't want them to, fall off the staircase. Penguins like to waddle. And we're going to bring in a lot of rock just because, that's the kind of environment they would have lived in. It was rocky, it was tropical, a little bit of sand in there as well. I quite like tropical. I'm a big fan of tropical penguins. I might prefer tropical penguins to non-tropical penguins, honestly. As controversial as that might be. And of course we can mess around with new water things now. I wasn't going to do an underwater viewing for this just because they are so tiny. They're much smaller than I anticipated, I've got to be honest. But yeah, going to try to keep it fairly spare with the plant life. It should feel like it's sprouting up amongst the rocks here and there. It shouldn't feel like it's overwhelming the habitat at all. And all of this, an hour and 45 minutes or something. We're going to end up doing a section like the path nearby and decorating all that up. I've made a custom logo. So the theme of the zoo is called Oakwood. It's nice and homogenous, basically, as we had these palm trees around. And it's basically got a hipster logo. I'm not going to lie. It's like a mountain, and then, it's got this axe and a bear and all. It's very, very hipster adjacent. No, it is. It's. I straight up Googled hipster logo and took a design, basically. So it's a hipster zoo. It's just going to have a nice, pleasant, sort of wholesome design. There's nothing too crazy. Each section's going to have like a little colour that defines it. I think I've done yellow for this for some reason. I'll have to change it to blue. But yeah, I'm not going to... The idea is not to spend ages doing anything. The idea is very much to focus on the animal. And under 2 hours is my limit. Under 2 hours. I'm not allowed to do anything past 2 hours on the actual exhibit build. I'm saying that now. We'll see how it goes. Just building a very, very simple little custom fence here. And I do mean very, very simple. Just, logs and rope. Just because it's, it's kind of got that chill kind of aesthetic. Oakwood is a nature and natural materials first kind of zoo. Hipsters. We're off in the wilderness, chopping wood, growing beards, wearing plaid. Just hipster stuff, right? That's the kind of vibe we're going for. Everything should feel natural and hewn from the earth, basically. Not that we're not going to build with glass and fancier materials, but rock and everything else will be integrated in some manner, generally speaking. It's a change of pace for me in a lot of ways, this. Actually, I'm quite excited to try something a little bit different, I suppose. So, little staff entrance over there. That'll be... It looks a bit of a mess. You'll see it in game at the end of this when we bring our penguins in, but that'll get fixed. I guess. I don't really have anything. I assume I'll fix it at some point. I'm going to put a duck in, because the duck is adorable. And it's nice being able to do things like that. Like, for the longest time, I couldn't put a duck in. You can't have a duck if you're trying to build like a secret underground forested cave. But now I can have a duck. Life is good again. Trying to find a good educational board. I have a minor complaint. I didn't want these to light up. I wanted to make like a sign. Basically, I saw one online where, because the penguins cross over roads every now and again, there's like a little sign someone made when it's like a little blue penguin crossing, so be careful in your car so you don't run over a penguin. And I wanted to make that, but there isn't a small non-lit up billboard or sign or anything. Like the billboards go down to 4 meters, which is way too big. And the TVs go down to 1 or 2 meters, which is great, but they also light up at night. So if I could make a small request, Frontier, if you happen to be watching this, I'll email you, don't worry about it. But if we could get like a 2-meter billboard, that would be fantastic. Or an option to have the TVs not light up would be great as well, although I would prefer just a non-lit up billboard, basically. I say billboard, projection screen. We need a smaller projection screen that doesn't light up because we don't have one. That's all I'm saying. Anyways, I wanted a little signpost with a little bit hanging down saying the name. This is Penguin Pond, of course. This was inspired by a little thing that Estan Wolf did, which I was really impressed with. Well, just a sign, basically. It was a sign hanging from a piece of wood, but I liked it, so, you know, inspired. I could not find a rope, however. Like, this is quite low to the ground, and the ropes are just far too big. God, I miss scaling sometimes. I had a slight idea to use the bunting and to try to hide the shape of the bunting inside the pond sign, but it just wasn't really working out, so I'm going to end up bringing in the thinner poles, which I'm not totally thrilled about how it ends up looking, but yeah, well, you know what I mean? Yeah, that basically sums it up. It looks okay. The whole area needs a little bit more in props and stuff like that. I kind of forgot about props, which is very unlike me, I know, but I'll start integrating that a little bit as well. I just really wanted the whole area to, I don't know, just feel different than the stuff I usually make. That was the goal. Difference. New shiny things. And I've done a little test and the penguins can, you know, get around. So we're going to build also a custom educational board, again themed on the Oakwood Zoo logo. I'm not totally thrilled with what my educational board looks like right now. I might redo it, I might change it up a little bit. The problem is as well, because this is a modded creature, I was going to say dinosaur there, the educational board goes super weird. When I try to put a custom image on it, it's got like this big black mark at the lower right that I just cannot get rid of. It might be there on purpose, but basically I end up swapping this with a TV. In the end, I'm putting the sign on that instead. You might see it in this video, we'll see. There you go, just very simple, just wood and stone, just trying to keep that same sort of vibe, basically. No realism, just vibes. I can't say that anymore because it is meant to feel at least moderately realistic. Not hyper-realistic, I don't really care about that, but a little bit. So it can't be no realism, just vibes. It has to be realism and vibes. Or, I don't know, I need a new slogan for this series. We'll think of something. No realism, just hipster vibes, I don't know. We'll come up with something, I'm sure. But yeah, just doing little things like this, just little things I usually don't bother, just to break up the path a little bit, bring in some penguins. They're not the right penguins, but they look like penguins. That's really the key, isn't it? They look like penguins. They're adorable. And I don't know what I'm doing here, I'm doing something, right, yes. So I wanted to do a little, like a meet our penguins kind of board kind of thing. So you'll go over and there'll be a picture of all the different penguins and their names on the right hand side. Now this is obviously not completed because the penguins aren't in the game yet, so you can't meet the penguins because I don't know what the penguins are going to be called. We could have renamed them ourselves, but I kind of like using the natural spawned names. I believe they're going to be named after the, is it King? I think it's the King penguin that's in the game by default, and basically this penguin is going to use the default stuff from that, so the enrichment items and all that kind of jazz will be from the King penguin. So all the names will be as well. They'll be Arctic inspired, I suppose. Antarctic? Oh god. I don't know. Anyway, so this was a meet our penguins little thing, so you get to see the pictures and you get to learn all the names of the different penguins. I'm not always going to do stuff like this, but I was kind of just vibing with it at the time. And really it was an excuse to screw around in Photoshop, which I really enjoy, you know. I'm never going to get over the billboards. I would also like to bring in some TVs with like, this is meet our penguins, some TVs with like clips of little blue penguins, but I don't really know how I'm going to integrate that right. I definitely want to do that, but I'm not sure how that gets integrated into the overall exhibit design, if that makes sense. We're definitely going to be abusing the billboard design aesthetic a lot in this playthrough. There's a lot of weird stuff I want to do. So, yeah, we're going to have to take advantage of that as much as possible. There we go. Meet our penguins. One day, a zoo game will invent the capability to type out letters like this. One day, because this game doesn't do it, Prehistoric Kingdom doesn't have it right now. No game I've ever seen has it. I don't know how difficult that would be, but it would be so good. I cannot, overstate how amazing that would be and how helpful that would be. It would make my year, it really would. Also scaling. Anyways, there's our little penguins, our little Make Your Penguins board. We're nearly done, nothing much too complex about this. Wanted to bring in some of the other elements as well. There's definitely a vibe to this area, and the whole aquatic area will have this... will it though? Let me think about that. Yeah, the whole aquatic area will have the same sort of style, using the same, well, not necessarily the same rocks, but similar rocks. Or maybe we're not going to do mass aquatic sections. Maybe we'll have this is the penguin ponds, and we'll have 2 or 3 different penguins here. And as more penguins get added, we can just add more penguins to the area, right? It does make it difficult to extend things out, but then all the penguins can have the same sort of materials and we can use them in completely different ways. That might be interesting to do. There are actually some other penguin species. Also, look how tiny these things are. It takes me about half an hour to figure out why I can't get them in. It's because I have no staff members. But we get there eventually. There's also a chinstrap penguin, which is adorable, and a emperor penguin, which is really cool as well. And they're all new species. So we actually have 4 different types of penguins if you wanted them. And we could have 3 of them right here in the modded section, which is pretty cool. Look how tiny, you can't see them anymore, but they're tiny. They're so small, it's crazy. And this is where I realise that black bit at the bottom doesn't go away, basically. You have to kind of integrate that into your educational board, making educational boards essentially pointless. If you're going to do custom images, just use a TV screen, they're the same size. I think we're basically done. Yeah, what do I do at the end? I put a tree in, there you go. Some more rocks. Love a good rock. I want to mess around with plant pots and stuff like that, although it does kind of take away my natural vibe I'm going for. Who knew I was such a hippie? 4 seconds left. I'm trying to catch it at 25. There we go. Okay, so there is our little penguin bit. We're going to hop in game. We're going to meet all our tiny blue penguins. Little blue penguins, but they are also tiny blue penguins. I'll see you in a sec. Very exciting. Okay, folks, here we are. Welcome to Penguin Pond. I might have to change it to Penguin Ponds. I also made this custom sign, but as I said, they don't go small enough. So there's my little custom sign. Little Penguin Udi Putula Minor. I need to maybe move that a little bit to... oh, no. A little bit to the right. Just to make sure it doesn't look too tight, basically. Just more like that. Lovely stuff. There we go. Little Penguin. And if we go over here, actually you can't see the logo. I have built an entire logo for this thing, but the theme is, mountains and ink and roughness and this sort of yellow over the top of the wood texture. And you can see the mountains over here. There you go. Oh, there's the logo. There's Oakwood Zoo, established 2021. There you go, my little hipster Oakwood Zoo. So this is where eventually the penguins will all be listed and pictured and stuff like that. But of course, to do that, we need some blimmin' penguins. So... there's a look at the habitat. Ignore the staff buildings. You will not see those eventually. There's our little house. And we're gonna hit play. We're gonna move in. Our little ponds. And we're gonna see the penguins! Look how small they are! They're adorable! I thought they were gonna be so much bigger. Not so much bigger, that would be nonsense. But I mean, I really thought this exhibit would be small enough. This is tiny. I don't build exhibits this small. And yet for these guys, it's massive. We can see how they, yeah, they can get around the whole thing basically, which is really cool. It's one of the benefits of them being tiny. They can walk through here, they can swim around and climb up there, they can even get up our little ladder over here. We should actually add a little sleeping area. Oh no, this is a sleeping thing already. I'm intelligent, never mind. So we need more penguins, because clearly 3 of these things is probably not going to be enough. So we're looking for L. Little blue penguin. Do that. I think 8 might be enough for now. Who have we got here? We've got Patrick, Charlotte, Eva, Oscar. Lovely names. Clearly American names as well. Clearly my knowledge of king penguins is quite bad. Look how cute they are though. Absolutely adorable. Big shout out to Leaf and Mega Gaming Rex for the just sheer adorability of these little guys. They're so tiny. The babies actually have a problem right now in that the babies are twice the size of the adults, apparently, just because these are so small. But that's okay, I'm sure that'll get fixed eventually. Okay, buddy. Who's this? This is Eva. What are you up to, Eva? Yeah, it's a really cool little idea, this. I'm very excited about it, honestly. You excited, pal? What's your name? Jack? Oh no, Jack's injured. I need a veterinary thing. I don't have one at the moment. That's so cute. Let's just hop into Ansel for a sec so we can get extra close. There you go. Nice little view of the little blue penguin. Agonizingly adorable, I think you'll all agree. I might even need more than 8, honestly. 8 might not be enough. Yeah, I'm pretty happy with how this looks, this whole little area. This is definitely the vibe we're going to be aiming for. Maybe we'll have like another penguin behind here. Maybe this Meet Our Penguins will in fact have all the different modded penguins in and some information about all of them. Or a video. I might just change this up entirely and have it be a video. We'll see what we do with that though. So we can have another exhibit down here with a different penguin and over here with a different one and just have like a little penguin zone. I think the idea is kind of to build individual blocks. So this will be the penguin block and then I'll build another one over here and over here and over here. And that way we've got enough room to expand them. That's one thing I'm a little concerned about because I never know what's going to come out. Like, how will I know when will I have enough room for another penguin? What if I start building an African section over here and an American section over here and suddenly there's no room for more penguins? You know what I mean? So that is a concern that I'm considering. They're adorable! They're so tiny! I can barely like show you them because the camera doesn't get close enough to the ground. Coming upstairs, buddy. Right, can I watch it come up the staircase? Okay, it might take a while. Let's speed it up a little bit. Okay, there we go. You ready, folks? Any minute now. Any minute now. I'm gonna go even lower. There we go. A little bit lower. A little bit higher. A little bit. Ah! I can't get the right position anymore. There we go, that'll do. Oh lord, he's coming! There he is. Waddling his way up. Or her way up. His way up. Hi Jack, how you doing, pal? I love them so much. And I really like the vibe of this habitat, the kind of rock and foliage. Obviously, it's nothing special. I didn't do anything crazy to build this thing. It's very, very simple stuff. But that's kind of the point. This is something that anyone can build. You know, if you're a little bit down on, if you want to just build like a nice basic zoo, 2 hours. 2 hours for the entire thing. You know, it doesn't take that much time to build something that, you know, isn't going to blow anyone away, but it looks kind of nice. I think. I'm happy with it. Anyway, I did a little work at night time as well, not too much. These signs are hella bright, so you do need lights in the area or you just won't see a bloody thing. But got like a little light there for Penguin Pond, and they're all lit up, and no lights in the actual exhibit. I thought I'd give the penguins themselves a little bit of a break. Right, Jack. It does take them a billion years to get anywhere because they're so small. They can barely move. Honestly, I could have built this exhibit half the size and it would have still felt quite large, I think. Well, there you go, folks. Those are the tiny little... Oh, those are the little blue penguins. Definitely go check them out on Nexus if you do play Planet Zoo. Super easy to install. The instructions are already there on the Nexus page. Highly recommended. And I really had fun with this, and I really hope you guys enjoyed this build and this episode because this is something I would love to do more of in the coming days, to kind of take this modding series in new directions and mess around with new creatures that get added by our amazing community. If you enjoyed this video, please do throw me a like. If the response to this is good, you'll find a playlist for this down below as well. And again, if the response is good and all that, we'll carry on with more episodes in the coming weeks. And of course, Southeast Asia Zoo is not dead or anything. That'll be continuing as well, although I might have to rejig things a little bit. Okay, I'm done. If you are new to the channel, please hit that subscribe button, please hit the like button, and leave a comment down below. I will see you lovely folks in that next video. Thanks for joining me. Cheers much as always. Bye-bye. Look at him run. I hadn't seen the run before. This is him sprinting. Who's this? This is Evelyn. Evelyn is going on a absolute mad one. Look at Evelyn go. I had to add an extra part to the recording just because I had to show you Evelyn. Are you pooping? Don't poop on my staircase. Who's this? Oscar. Yeah, I'll add a veterinarian. Go, Evelyn, go. Oh Lord, she's coming. Oscar, Oscar, be careful. She's right behind you. I don't know what she's doing, but she's gone crazy. Anyways, right. See you later. Is she gonna slow down? Evelyn? Evelyn! Oh, are you sleep? Oh, he's grooming himself. Evelyn has finally stopped. Evelyn has made it to the top. As she was born to be. Right, okay, see you later, guys.
Houston, if you're ready, we'll maneuver. Reaching out.